I'm pooping at Buc-ee's for now and evermore. The restrooms are so clean, you can eat brisket off the floor.
Hi, I'm Mr. Snapper, doing something a little different today. I want to talk about a project I'm working on. So I've been doing these closet sessions where I've been playing music that, mostly it's music that I've written. Sometimes it's music from the very current era of the 1800s, or it's a song by Gary. Anyway, I've been doing these closet sessions lately, and I want to do one, maybe even get out of the closet and into the street, if you will, with a song that I wrote about Buc-ee's. And probably by the time you see this video, I've already dropped that one, because this is kind of a behind the scenes of what went into that. So when I first had this idea, Red and I were chatting about it, and as most good ideas we have it started with a, you know what would be funny? What if I had a Buc-ee's ukulele? And I thought for sure this is to be like the one piece of merch that Buc-ee's definitely makes is a ukulele. No, Buc-ee's does not make a ukulele. How do they not make and sell a ukulele? Well, maybe that'll change after this. Fingers crossed. So I wanted to make a Buc-ee's ukulele for this song, and I figured there's a couple of ways around this. I could buy a cheap ukulele and slap a label on it. Probably should have just done that. But really, if I were being smart about it, I should take an unfinished ukulele, put the Buc-ee's logo on it, finish it, and it would go from there. So I went on Alibaba, which has become, or AliExpress, I guess, is my favorite new thing to mess around with. I went on AliExpress to look for an unfinished ukulele. The one that I thought that I bought had the neck attached to it already, but as you can see, this did not come with the neck attached. The only other time I've ever built a ukulele, it was this little cigar box guy, and yeah, that sounds like it's in tune, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. The neck is crooked. I mean, you can't, I don't know if you can tell, but the neck's actually a little crooked, so it didn't go on. This was a neck off of a broken ukulele. I found it like a thrift shop, and a cigar box I got down in Deep Ellum, and put it together, and boy howdy, sounds like garbage. So I didn't want to do that again. I want this to actually be a playable instrument. So I've got my work cut out for me, because I'm going to have to actually attach the neck. Now, here's the messed up thing about this. This isn't like an unboxing video, because whatever. I got all this stuff, here's the bridge with this nice little plastic saddle. Bridge and saddle, at least that fits together nicely. Got little straps for if I want to put a strap on it. Those screws seem like entirely too long for this, but we'll see. I think they're like guitar strap holders. Nice little plastic nut, which is going to require some work, I think. And the gears. These look pretty decent. But here's where we get to the fun part, the neck. So the first problem is that is a very flat surface. That is a very curvy surface. You put those two things together and you get a neck that is not going to fit. So I'm going to have to sand this down and to get that curve to it. The other issue is that right there. Hopefully you can see that. There's like about 1/4 of an inch of wood that's coming off the back of it, if I put the neck flush with the top. Another issue, this is a concert size ukulele. You may notice the complete and utter lack of any kind of hole for a dowel. It didn't even come with a dowel. And here's the thing, if I put this together, if I try to just glue this together and put any kind of tension on the strings, it's going to pop the neck, right? We know this. Fortunately, like many other North Americans, I have a surplus of IKEA parts that I never had to use for whatever reason. So I've got a little dowel. I think I can make that work. I'll drill a hole here, drill a hole in the neck, put those together with that. The other fun thing is this fretboard. So the fingerboard, first of all, it's warped. So that's something. It's not a bad warp, and I think once it's glued in place, that should be fine. But here's where it gets to be fun. I have to kind of estimate where that nut will be. It'll be about there. There is a lot of excess wood on either side of this. So maybe about 1/8 of an inch of wood on either side of the fingerboard. So that's going to have to be sanded down as well, so that the fingerboard is sort of like fits the neck. So, and the other thing, it's been sanded. It's not super splintery, but you can still see that there are spots that are going to have to be sanded. I don't know if you can tell on the sound hole, but there's some spots there that also need to be cleaned up. So there's sanding that has to be done. The neck has to be shaped to fit the instrument. So yeah, I don't remember how much I spent on this. I think it was maybe 30 bucks, 25, 30 bucks. So, I mean, you get what you pay for. You know, you're going on AliExpress, you're not getting a Kamaka ukulele for $30. This was definitely like machined in some shop somewhere in China, and it's gonna need a little bit of work to make it playable, and that's important to me. So, how to customize this thing? Buc-ee's colors are yellow and red and black, I think. So my thought is to stain this cherry red, or maybe butterscotch yellow, so you still see the wood grain. And then I'm getting a 5-inch diameter Buc-ee's logo to go right there on the thing. And then once that's in place, I'm gonna have to carve out part of the sticker so that I can put my bridge in place. So it's a little complicated, but it's not too bad. So yeah, the bridge will be running across the middle of Buc-ee's little face, but I think that's fine. The important thing is it will be a Buc-ee's ukulele. It'll be playable, and hopefully it'll be as awesome an idea as we thought it was when we were just sort of like sitting around the couch saying, you know what would be funny? We're not stoners, but we do talk like stoners, apparently. And we eat like stoners. These bridges, typically on the sort of build-it-yourself ukulele kit, the bridges, you see it's got these two little recessed holes here for screws. Typically, they also have corresponding holes on the ukulele body so that you know where to put the bridge. I have no idea where to put the bridge. I'm going to have to measure that out. Yay, fingers crossed. But that's fine, because I've got to figure out exactly where to get everything placed and then measure it out so that I put the bridge in the right spot. So it's whatever. It's just kind of par for the course with the neck issues I have. The other thing is these strings. Now this is funny. Now typically, I've watched some videos, unboxing videos, people getting these ukuleles off of Alibaba, and typically they get these little crappy little, random strings, right? But this is funny. There's an Aquila label in the bag with these strings. I'm like, are these Nyla Gut strings? I don't think they are. I think these are the same, like just cheap, like weed whacker style monofilament that you usually get with these kits, but I don't know, they dropped in a little Aquila Nyla Gut label, which makes me wonder, is like, maybe these are like black market Nyla Gut strings. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, and the ukulele project. So you can kind of see it. I shaped it. The neck, it's curvy now. There you go, it's curvy now. So it fits pretty snugly on the neck. I found the center line from the top of the fretboard and measured down where I want to drill my hole. And I did the same thing on the body of the uke. So there is, there is a wood brace in there. You can see that. That's what I'll be drilling into. Let's see if I can get the camera in there. Aha, yeah, wood brace. So that's what I'll be drilling into for the dowel, and then of course into the neck for the dowel as well. Bingo bango. So I squirt some wood glue into the hole, put in the dowel rod, or sorry, squirt some wood glue in, stick in the dowel, attach the two parts, and then strap it together so that it dries nice and tight. And that's kind of where I am on this. Okay, so the big Buc-ee's ukulele. So where are we? I got the neck installed, but it's not exactly level. I don't know if you can tell. It leans back a little bit, which is kind of disappointing. I sanded it down trying to get it level, but it's boy. The bridge, I measured it out. I think the bridge shifted a little bit back as I was installing it, which can happen because, you know, glue is slippery. Buster is going off in the background. If you can hear that, it's because it is that time of night where Red runs Nutmeg through tricks, and he is fussing. He is ready for tricks. This beast didn't come with screws either, so I had to grab a couple of screws from some other project. And anyway, you can see Buc-ee is at least sketched in. I'm going to tape off the bridge and paint him next. I did a sort of like a raw fit of strings with a couple of the tuners, the G and the A tuners, just to make sure the action is not horribly awful. And it's not horribly awful. I don't know. I think as you go further down the neck, I think it'll get out of tune pretty bad. But I think as long as I'm just playing chords, it'll be okay. And anyway, I mean, you'll see the final video. It's more about how it looks and how it plays. Although I really wish this would play well, and I'm super disappointed by how this kit's turning out. We're gonna see where we wound up with this ukulele project. Here it is, and there it is with the Buc-ee's logo painted on the top of it. So a couple things about this. The first big thing is that I was trying to get this wrapped up and finished because we're shooting the Buc-ee's song tomorrow. So this had to be done. And I guess I was gluing on like the bridge and things like that last weekend. So I had like a week to finish this. So I just kind of hunkered down and got it done. The bridge shifted when I glued it down. So I was really afraid that it was going to sound just awful. I measured it. I measured everything, measured it doubled, twice, measured it twice, marked where the bridge needed to be, and it still shifted back like a 1/16 of an inch. So I was afraid, this is going to be awful. But, so that's at the 12th fret, right? Sounds pretty spot on, right? Not too bad. I checked it with the little tuner, and it's actually a little bit flat. I'm not sure how that works. If it's, I don't know. It's weird. If the bridge is a little bit further away, how is it flat? Who knows? But it's just the tiniest bit out of tune when you get to that 12th fret. But sounds pretty good. So like I mentioned, I think I mentioned this in an earlier video, it didn't come with screws for the bridge, so I wound up with these I had to grab random screws just from my collection of random screws. And so I wasn't able to, there were little fake mother of pearl insets that were supposed to go on top. So ideally you screw it in and then you drop in the little inset on top of it. Oh well. Didn't get that done. And the neck is still, the fretboard is still strangely uneven. You see where it connects up to the body, it like dips down. What are you gonna do? Here's another little weird thing. There's a little crack in the bridge, and I didn't see this until after it was strung. So I don't know if it's the tension of the string on the bridge that caused the crack or what. Also, I got to find a better quality masking tape. You would think the 3M masking tape would be good, but I still had paint leak up the side of the fretboard. I had this all taped off and I still have paint. Whatever, it's fine. So I got it all assembled. I got everything glued down in place, let everything dry and cure as far as the glue goes. And then I turned to painting. So what I did was I taped off the fretboard and I taped off the bridge. And the hardware wasn't installed yet. And then I painted Buc-ee on it. Now what I did, this is an old trick that we learned from our college days. I printed the logo, right? And I figured out where he needed to go on here. And then I colored in on the back with pencil, right? To sort of turn it into carbon paper. And for you kids who don't know, back in the day, if you were using a typewriter and you wanted to make a duplicate copy of whatever you were typing, you'd put a carbon paper between the pages. And when you type, it would make a second copy of whatever you were typing, right? So, I don't know who has carbon paper anymore, but back in the day, back in college, when we would have to transfer a design to something, if we didn't have carbon paper and we were poor college kids, you just scribble a pencil on the back just to match the lines. And then you set it down in place, and then you take a same pencil or you take something like an ink pen and you trace around the lines, and then that transfers the design to whatever you're transferring the design to. So that's what I did there. And then this is just acrylic paint. At first my plan was to stain the entire uke yellow, but the stain I got from Amazon, I was expecting like an actual usable amount, but it's like tiny, like a sampler. I wouldn't have been able to do maybe half of the top of this with that. So I just painted it yellow. Like I said, had to get it done, so just painted it yellow. And it's a little rough. I'm not terribly crazy about how rough it is, but I think on camera it's gonna look good. And hopefully it looks good right now, we'll see. And then to finish it off, I got this stuff at Walmart, I think. Crystal clear lacquer. And fortunately the painting was done in time for a rare kind of sunny day here. The temperatures have been hovering, they've been like around 52, 53, but it just happened that the day after the painting was done, temperatures were between 55 and like 60 something. So perfect temperature for this. I was able to do 3 coats of the lacquer. I'm supposed to let it sit for a week before giving it any heavy use per the directions here, so it has a chance to really cure. No, I don't have time for that. But what's amazing is, even without like, I don't know, I think it turned out really kind of pretty. I don't know, it looks really good. There's some parts, I don't know if you can see this, but there's some places where like glue kind of rubbed onto the wood and I didn't get it all sanded off. There's some weird stuff. I tried to dust the sawdust off with a Swiffer, and I wound up with little Swiffer fibers that are still kind of like, that have been lacquered to the ukulele. I mean, this was like a quick and sloppy build, quick and sloppy finish, but it sounds great. Now, the inside baseball is, this is what I'm going to use on camera, but when I actually record the song, I'm going to use one of my other ukuleles, probably a tenor. But this sounds good. It sounds a lot like my Mahalo. I have a little Mahalo that's concert size that I used to play with when I did stuff with Mr. Buddy. You may recall my partner, Mr. Buddy. So, so this is actually very comparable to that. So anyway, that's it. That's the big Buc-ee's ukulele. It was kind of fun putting together. As much as frustrating as it was, the process was, not really having the right tools to do like a real luthier's job of building this. I had fun working on it. I'd like to build another. So that's that. Hopefully by now you've seen the actual Buc-ee's song. I hope you enjoyed that. this was a fun project to work on, and I look forward to doing something like this again soon. So there you have it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Red and I do all sorts of weird things, of course, with little tiny baby Nutmeg, who's probably just out of camera here. But also our own stuff, like the music and Red stuff as well. So please like and subscribe. Boop the bell for notifications. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.